All right, Randall Hughes with GodGlorified.com, commenting on our reading for today for November the 7th, in which we read from Matthew chapter 22, Luke chapter 20, and Mark chapter 12. And so in our reading today, there was at least 6 instances in which the name Yahweh occurred and is present. The meaning is there in the text, quoting from Old Testament verses. And so we read the parable of the man without the wedding garment and the efforts that God has made for us to be a part of his kingdom. Many are called, but few chosen. Help us, God, work in our heart to be chosen, to be one of the chosen, one of the few. And so, God, help us not to get so caught up in who we are and what we know and believe that we lose track and somehow our hearts become prideful. Or there's so many different ways we can disqualify ourselves from being everything he wants us to be. And we have to walk humbly with our God. And so the Herodians tried to trick him, and they brought the penny, and he said, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar, and the things to God, the things that are God. And so I'm asking you and myself, are we giving everything to God that he is worthy of, that he is due? I want to be giving to him all that is owed. And then the Sadducees with the resurrection, and that do not believe in a resurrection, but tried to trick him into saying, whose wife will this woman be after she's been with 7 brothers? And a unique passage there in which he said, your error not understanding the scripture. And then the lawyer asking about the greatest commandment, and here's where the quote is from Deuteronomy chapter 6. Some include 6:4, others just 6:5. Loving Yahweh thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Help us, God. That is a tall task. Help us to love you with everything, God. And I think that's what's going to catch a lot of people. He said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. All that's in the world is the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. And if we're not careful, those things can crowd out loving God, and then to love our neighbor as ourselves, the 2 greatest commandments. And then here in verse 32 was a prime opportunity for Jesus Christ to clarify the misunderstanding, if it's a misunderstanding, if God is a Trinity, when they spoke of there just being one God and none other but he. What a great opportunity if God were a Trinity. And then in Matthew 22, Mark 12, and Luke 20, there is the golden verse, and that is Psalm 110:1, that's quoted more than any other verse. Yahweh said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool.